boys, let me have a little bit of volume. Oh, Harry. Oh, hang on. Saucy Harry. Hello, Tina Delahan. Yes, that is she. Yes, Wimbledon 1A's coach. Oh yes, that's right. I did an interview with Claire Boulding and Gabby Logan just there before Christmas. They say I did an interview. All right, they might not have been here, but you know they were there in spirit. Oh really? They're interested? Are they coming to come to my flat? No. Oh right, they're just going to offer me some insight. Well, that's okay. Oh, how exciting. Well, I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now. Should I do my hair?
An extraordinary year. Different elements that have made it so special, because like this, where women, particularly women in sport, are so celebrated, and when you see a whole range of women on air, on screen, that are all shapes and sizes, that have all different personalities, you have to know that's important and rejoice in that and say this is huge, because it wasn't always like that, and quite often it still isn't.
Claire, I cannot tell you, one, how happy I am that you are here today to offer some insight into your success and also your passion about sport, and an opportunity for us to share as Wimbledon 1As a little bit of love, if you like, about ladies in sport. And hearing what you just said there is so true, and it's the ethos, I think, of where Wimbledon 1As were really trying to go this year. You spoke to me just before Christmas and we talked about how it's not easy just to do this job on your own, and that there are many things that happen behind the scenes. And I talked about my captain Flo and also her vice Chloe, or Floey, no. Anyway, and how behind every great woman there has to be a really good management team. Now, I've already spoke to her about it, but Claire, if you had words that you wanted to share with Flo, what would you say?
And it all worked out, and I'm really pleased, and I'm very, very grateful to her, because I think without that, you know, kick in the right direction, none of this would ever have been possible.
I couldn't say it better myself. I think the role of a captain is a really important role. You have a lot of the organisation piece that goes on around, and keeping, you know, focused on your own game as well as focused on everybody else, and just keeping the general mood of the team and understanding where they all are, so that you can communicate that to me, because I can't see everything. Flo, I couldn't have done this season without your support, and Chloe as well, for checking availabilities and doing all the admin things that, I'll be honest, I'm not very good at. So I completely echo what Claire Boulding has just said. So moving on from Claire there and speaking now to Gabby. Gabby, so pleased you could take some time out of your incredibly busy schedule to share some insights into your role as a successful TV presenter, but also you were a gymnast in your day. And I guess it would be really helpful if you could just share maybe a little insight or secret to maybe some of your successes and why you are as successful as you can be.
Guilty pleasure, and food is warm bread and butter, straight out the oven. I also like I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
I'm not really sure what to say. That was definitely a secret. Didn't realise that liking I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here was a secret to success. But anyway, thank you very much. At times, you know, Gabby, you work in a very stressful environment, and at times, I'm not going to lie, I can get a little bit stressed on the side of the hockey pitch, as much as the team have performed incredibly well, and there's no getting away from the fact that this team works hard for each other. There are times we're not always 100%, and perhaps there are times that I've expressed myself in a slightly more assertive, loud, slightly aggressive way, more Alex Ferguson than, say, perhaps, I don't know, Roy Hodgson. Don't see Roy getting himself in a little bit of a mix there, or Mourinho on his best days. But I guess I just wanted to say, when you get all stressy, and how do you calm yourself down? How do you keep that air of professionalism and calmness?
For myself by making sure I regularly have in the diary either a massage or a facial or something like that, and I say that it's actually work related because I have to have facials because I wear so much makeup for work, but of course it's pure hedonism and enjoyment.
Makeup, right. Not something I have a problem with. I mean, I occasionally do my hair. Obviously today I was in a rush because I got my call quite late. But, well, thank you for that. That's really important to understand. And girls, I know at times I have been quite annoying and maybe a little loud and slightly scary on the sideline. But believe me, I want the best out of all of you, and I recognise the gaps in what I can help you with, and sometimes the frustration really is centred at myself. But, you know, if we talk about motivation, and I was thinking about all the different ways I've tried to approach motivation this year, you as a group of players have done really well and motivate yourselves at different times, and there are different strengths within you as a group, and I guess as a coach sometimes I always look to myself and think, well, what more can I do? So I've tried, Gabby and Claire, a number of different mediums in order to try and reach my team. I take it very seriously. Communication is a very key thing for me, and I've looked at trying to use music as a way of conveying a key message, or perhaps using some videos like whiteboard videos and maybe reaching out to other parts of the hockey family to see if I can find ways of helping motivate. I think music has probably been my key thing. As you heard earlier, my finger on the pulse with music and getting down with the kids. Anyway, Gabby, when it comes to music, what sort of music would you use? What motivates?
First celebrity album I bought, first album I bought was Adam and the Ants, Prince Charming.
Adam Ant, Prince Charming, Prince Charming, pretty cool, there's nothing to be scared of. Is that an oxymoron? Possibly. I suspect there are players in my team who do not know who Adam Ant is. However, I'm with you on that one, Gabby, it's a goodie. I have used the music as a way of conveying messages. I just think it's slightly different, and hopefully, if anything, it helps people understand that as much as I can get a little bit serious and passionate about my hockey, it is still just a game and we can still have a lot of fun. So, Gabby, thank you very much for your insights today. It's been really interesting talking to you. Now, Claire, back to you. Last game of the season. If you were going to give some advice to my team, what would it be?
I'm desperate to get back in and be able to finish the season with a bang. It's also
brilliant. Claire, you and I are absolutely on the same page. Unagi. You're absolutely right. We should be hitting this last game with a bang, getting the most out of it. You know what? There are many strengths and weaknesses in any team, but ultimately, if you've all got the same mindset, you can get the best out of people. Wouldn't you agree?
Interesting, the more you see the characters perform, and the more you can work out their own strengths and weaknesses, and the more you like.
This is like, you know, we scripted this, and obviously, clearly, we never. Yeah, every team has its strengths and weaknesses, Claire, you're absolutely right. But, you know, no matter where you are in your hockey career, you've got something to offer. And I think as a team, we have been a real mix from 16, in fact 15-year-olds up until some people just over 30. Hey, Millsy. But the point is, every single person has got something to offer, and on the pitch as well as off the pitch. And I think that's been the real strength of this team this year. And I have to say, I have been amazed at seeing how some people have really evolved over the season. And players who probably put themselves under quite a little bit of pressure have actually started to find their own niche in the team. And I've asked people to play out of position. I've asked people to play high when they're normally a defensive player, or I've moved them out onto the wings. And you know what? At the end of it all, we all just want to play hockey. And no matter how much I spout on, and no matter how much I ask the rich and famous ladies what their thoughts are, the simple fact is, the reason why you turn up Mondays, the reason why you turn up Wednesdays, and the reason why you turn up on a Saturday is because you want to play hockey. And I think it's because you kind of like the people that you're with, which I think is really, and I think as hockey players, we're very lucky. So thank you very much for this season. Claire, have you got any final thoughts?
I just want to say thank you so much. I am bathing in the reflected glory of an amazing summer, but my heartfelt wish and desire is that people are proud to be who they are, because you will perform better as who you are. And sports people understand performance, they understand fastest times, and you're a better person when you're comfortable in your own skin.
Thank you, Claire, and thank you, Gabby, as well, for coming along. And Claire, I completely agree with everything you've just said there. It's really important that people should be who they are so that they can offer themselves, you know, in a way that they can bring out the best in themselves when they play within a team, which is so important. This season has been a really interesting season for me, because it's my first time as a full-time coach in many years, and also I hope from discovering the strengths and weaknesses of my team. There are so many questions I still have to answer, and you know, there are some real highs in this season and some lows, and the highs I really want to build on. So like the way we fought in that game against Wanderers and came out superior, winning 3-0. I've never witnessed a team work so hard in all my life. We were down on numbers, and guys, that was so impressive. And then also the lows, and we've had some lows, the games against Wayfarers this year, which personally I think we can overcome. And you know, some tactics that I need to work on, and then think about some of my communication pieces. You know, maybe I need to work on my videos. But there are so many questions I need still answered. So like, you know, Chloe and Stoney, really are you that pink, or can you get pinker? Boshi, how much coffee do you have in a day? Because seriously, girl, you're high-wired. You know, Millsy, how hard can you hit that ball? I'm sure you can get maybe a little bit more of a hit in there. Not sure you're trying hard enough. And I've seen a photograph that you do look a little bit like Kate Walsh. I've never seen you in the same room. That's all I'm saying. Chloe, did you really bake those muffins? I'm not convinced that you did. And many, many other questions. But guys, oh, I know one. Laura Fell, are you going to buy a hockey stick bag? Seriously, walk up with your handbag. Wrong, wrong, wrong. But guys, thank you for a great season. Thank you for indulging me and watching my videos. And I'm looking forward to next year, and I hope to see you all. Enjoy your summer, and I will see you hopefully around June. Only kidding. I suspect training will be later in the year. But guys, have a fantastic summer, and thank you very much for this year.